Hey guys, Kid Gear here with another review for an iPhone and iPod Touch application on an application called NewStand. So, this is a jailbroken one, so I kind of rename mine. I believe it's also, you can just search up NewStand, I believe there's also News Rack. I believe they're the same thing. You can search it up in the iTunes store. And I believe it costs around, I believe it's $4, $3 or $4. But it is one of the best RSS applications that I've seen on the whole iPhone market, or iPhone and iPod Touch, I should say. But as you see here, you can have separate categories, and on the top it shows your unread and your starred messages. So I can click the starred and then see which ones I have none starred, as you see here. And I can also go to the unread, just click on the top left, or actually, hang on. It's receiving. So those are all the unreads, and it embeds an image, which is really nice. What I'm going to do is, so this is the main interface, and it shows you how many feeds and how many categories you have. You can make multiple categories. In the bottom here, as soon as you start up, it will allow you to I'll tell you all the blogs it's refreshing and everything like that. So, there's a help button up there explaining, how to use it. This is the 2.0 version that I'm on. There's some, tutorials if you want to walk through that. I believe there's also an update. I just actually haven't updated because I wanted to post a review of this version before I went out and updated. But anyway, as you see here, kind of trying to get that glare out of the way. So let me turn this monitor off real quick so you guys don't get that glare. But anyway, you can enable your Google Reader account. So if you use Google Reader on the web, you can enable sync, as I did there. You just put your account in, you put your password. I set mine to refresh and at the startup, so I don't have to manually do that. I enable landscape mode. You can change the way you sort it alphabetically or manually, up to you. You can say how long you want to keep articles. I keep 50 articles at most. If you have a lot of articles coming in, you might want to keep more. You can tell it whether to download images or not. So, I do mine just for the latest article. And appearance. There's different themes, but I just like the black theme because it's nice, as you see there. My bar is black, if you guys can tell up there. And large browser font, if you want to change that too, because it has an inbuilt browser that you can search in. I believe it even gives you the option to open it in Safari. Now, it even has social media sharing, so if you want to share it out by sending it to your email account or passing it along to a contact. Twitter account, I already have mine set up. You can automatically post it off to Twitter, share the story. Instapaper, people say it different ways. I believe it's Instapaper. I believe that's a similar service to Read It Later, so you guys can, if you stumble upon a story and you don't get to finish it, you can finish it later on. Delicious to bookmark stories. And there's also a sharing menu to enable all the ones you want to enable. Alright, so that's the settings, and now how easy it is. I want to show you one of the cool features in this is the feed. So if I was to click that feeds thing, what it's going to do is going to open up a type of newspaper, hence the NewsStand interface, where it doesn't work in, I believe it doesn't work in landscape. I'm sorry for the dropping of the mic. Yeah, it doesn't work in landscape, but you can flip through like you would in a newsstand. If you just spin it around, it goes around, 3D kind of cube effect, so I can go like that. And I really like how it fades off and the whole look of the app, so it's a really great job in appearance and graphics. And if I want to read something, I can click on it and it'll pull out and it'll open that Engadget blog, and from the Engadget blog I can search. It'll give me today's date up there, or whatever date it was the article was posted. And on the bottom here you have some options. So if I was to click this, I can send links. So this is the sharing one. I can copy the website URL if I want to send it off in another application. And I can mark as read, so I can mark all as read as I just did there, so I know all my articles are read. Or if you just want to, kind of clear up space. You can download images so that they can be used in offline access to show thumbnails, etc. If you want to see, images, if they're using it, if there's a keynote or something like that. And, of course, the refresh button if, for whatever reason, you may have to manually refresh. And I have noticed that in the past, sometimes it won't get all your stories. So this is one con. I had a problem where I wasn't getting my stories on a regular basis. So what I had to do is re-sign in with my Gmail account again, and it worked fine after I reset everything. But it also shows here in this little icon, I don't know if you guys can see that, but the number of stories that you have unread. So if I was to click Tom's Hardware over here, it shows me all by these little indicators of all the things that I have unread. And as I click it, it will load it within its inbuilt browser, and you can share it through multiple things. Now, I can also zoom in. Now, this isn't really a good example of a post, just because that one's not too long. Maybe if I go into a bigger post. Alright, maybe not that one either, but let's see, let's go to a Life Hacker post, one of my other favorite blogs. So as you see there, it's very like a newspaper feel, where you get that the latest article shows that image, and as you see here, it'll also show the image. I can zoom in, zoom out using those gestures that you would use on an iPhone. And again, the landscape mode works as well. Actually decides to go into landscape mode. It's not going into it for some reason. Maybe I have to turn it this way. Or not. Uh-oh. So, as you see there, that doesn't work either for some reason. Or it's not working. Maybe did I disable it? Hang on, let me go check. So back to feeds, settings, landscape view, on off. So it is a little buggy here and there, but and you can go separately into these categories. Now, also if you want to sort one, an app, story or app, whatever. So for example, I just added Wired before I did this review. Let's say I want to add it into the tech news section. I can just click this edit button. I can manually take this little feed here and drag it wherever I want it, wherever I want to put it. Let's say I want to put it up there, or I can click the feed and I can put it in a new category. I can make a category up like news, whatever, or I can put it in my existing categories that I made. So I can say tech news. You can also do some advanced features, like you can deactivate the feed for a certain time. You can do authentication for the feed. So if you want to be only, I think you can password protect it. Yeah, you can use a username and password if you want certain people not be able to read certain blogs or feeds. Maybe like a personal blog for a family member. You may not want that to be read for anybody who uses your iPhone or iPod Touch. And of course the Google Reader sync. So I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to hit done, and it will be added to the tech news category. Alright, and maybe let's see if that landscape will actually work now. Does it still want to work? Oh, there you go. So that's the landscape mode. And again, reading articles, landscape mode is easy as well. You can use that pinch zoom functionality. And you have the ability to go through different stories here. Go, I believe, to the last story or the latest story, and you can star it if you find it interesting, so you can share it later or read it later. And of course, the next story button is also right there. Alright, so I'm gonna go back, or actually, the share, but that's the share button in the top right. I'm gonna hit back over here, and the last thing I want to show you is creating a feed. It's really, really simple. So I'm gonna go back to my feeds here. I'm gonna say edit. I'm gonna hit the plus button. And the great thing is you can add many ways, and they have many features built in socially. So I can add delicious bookmarks, so certain sites I follow already using on Delicious. If you use that network, bookmarks for my contacts, so things that my friends bookmark, links from me, so anything that comes into my Delicious inbox. I can put a Twitter search result, so let's say I want to follow everything going on about, I don't know, the Apple iPad, for example. I type in Apple iPad, I'll get everything that's coming in from Twitter. I can get a feed mentioning my Twitter replies, so anybody who replies me, I'll get a separate feed for that. I'll get a separate feed for my Twitter timeline, so I can check my Twitter within my NewStand application. I can do OPML, import and export, so, transfer feed lists in and out. So I can, export my feeds that I have in here or import them from another iPhone or iPod Touch. Feed directory, I can browse the popular feeds, or I can manually type in a URL of a site that I know the RSS feed, for example, may be like adrianstech.com/RSS, whatever the site is. Or you can use their feed directory, which is really cool because it gives you lists and lists and lists and lists, A through Z, of sites you can go through on certain categories. For example, robots, or I meant to click Ron Paul there, but they have almost anything on any type of category you can think of, suicide robots, robots.net, so I can simply click add it. I can read a little bit about it if I'm curious on what that article finds, and this just gives you a whole new thousands and thousands of other blogs and other categories to kind of dive into and add to your NewStand. So guys, without further ado, this is the review of NewStand. I would definitely recommend a purchase if you're a huge news junkie. Handles a lot of feeds very well. It is buggy here and there, but overall it's a great app, greatly priced, and has a lot of features in it. Look forward to the updates in this application. This is Kid Guru here, reviewing NewStand for the iPhone and iPod Touch. And in a personal rating, I would definitely give it a 9 out of 10. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out the next video, and also check out adrianstech.com, and as well, email me any questions, concerns at adrianstech@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.